Hi, my name is Jason Trask. This is the third reading in a series that I'm doing from my memoir, The New Plantation, Lessons from Rikers Island, published by Deerbrook Editions. It's about my experiences as an English teacher of incarcerated teenagers on Rikers Island. And this reading is basically how the memoir got its title. They asked a Mr. Cumberbatch to walk me down to the Sprungs. As we walked the labyrinthine halls, I questioned him, mostly to hear his rich accent. He told me he was from Trinidad and that he ran the computer room in the third trailer. When we came to an intersection, he stopped, remembering he'd left his keys upstairs in the office. He pointed down a corridor so endless, its four corners merged into a single point, and told me that at the end of it, I would find a door on my left. He said I could come back upstairs with him if I wanted, or I could just walk to the end of the corridor and wait there by the door. He would be along shortly. The place was so intense that the thought of walking down there by myself made me nervous, but I didn't want him to know that. As I start down the corridor, I grow apprehensive when I see that in 50 yards or so, I'll be passing a line of inmates. These guys are adults, and they're waiting impatiently behind a CO who is smoking and telling them not to. Several of them see me coming. I realize how scared I must look when I see them pointing at me and laughing. As I pass the CO, the only white man in their midst, he nods to me as if we're on the same team. One of the inmates comments about my skinny white man ass. Another says, "It don't make no difference to me how skinny it is, just so it's warm." Someone in the group makes a kissing sound to a round of laughter. Until now, I have not been looking at them as I pass in silence. After a few seconds of this, I begin to feel like a typical above-it-all white man. I shift my gaze and look at each of them as I pass. These men look me directly in the eye. I mean directly. They look at me as if they can actually see me, not the details about me that middle-class people use to judge one another: looks, class, intelligence, ethnicity, money, education. There's none of that. These guys are looking deeper than petty details of that sort. In fact, they're looking deeper than my soul. They're looking at my central nervous system. Somehow they've hacked their way in, and they're examining it through the lens of a single question. How afraid is this guy? It feels to me that they know more about my fears than my mother does. I look back down the corridor, and as I pass the last man in line, he yells to me in white manese, "Well, golly gee, if it's not a representative of the Caucasian persuasion coming to watch the Negroes work the fields." Then in his own voice he adds, "Welcome to the new plantation, mister."